everybody. Welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, the way we do it over here, we get our shout outs out the way, and then and only then we get into the podcast. So I am going to play that beautiful bean footage and we'll talk on the other side. All right, y'all, I want to give a quick shout out to my guy, Kevon Slim. Yes, Kevon came through to support. He is always coming through to support. He is the best of the best of the best of the best. Yes, he is. He's so kind and he's so caring and he's so supportive. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Kevon. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Thross R5G came through. Yes, she did. She is so supportive. She's always in the comments. She is so smart. She is always dropping the knowledge, and I appreciate her so very much. I am super hyped that she is a part of this tribe. She absolutely makes it better. So thank you, Thors R5G. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, these streets are smoking hot. And we're going to talk about it because my last podcast, I was wrong. And when I'm wrong, I will absolutely say I'm wrong because I guess I'm wrong because I was willing to give that family over there across the pond, Charles, Willie, Kitty, and the horse, the benefit of the doubt. And I never ever imagine that these people would go to the extent that I really feel that they have to try to shame, embarrass, and set Harry and Meghan up like it appears that they have done. So we are going to talk about that. That is what mostly we're going to talk about. We're going to also talk about Kitty and her antics. And I mean, I cannot with Kitty. I just cannot. But she has climbed to the top of a mountain, and all I can say, I wish she had stayed at the top. But we're going to talk about it. That farm market Kate has made a reappearance. Yes, that Kitty who is saying that she trekked to the top of this mountain. Well, some of it could have been farm market Kate. It's delicious. And we're going to talk about that as well. And that's pretty much all we're going to talk about. It's going to be a short one. I have had a busy 2 days and look like tomorrow might also be busy, but I will check in. Y'all know I'm going to check in. And how could I not check in with everything that is going on today? Yes, it is a mess, y'all. So let's get started. Y'all know what y'all need to do. Y'all need to lock in and understand. I'm not going to keep you long, but I will keep you entertained. And we're going to start with this. Y'all remember yesterday when I featured this post right here from this squatty, and I said this is pretty much the way I feel about this whole situation with Harry and Meghan and their security. And this squatty had said, the way I see it, if Harry and Meghan didn't have adequate safety measures and protocols in place, their spokesperson wouldn't have confirmed the visit. I'll wait and see what my fave's decisions are. We know trolls love to speculate, then eat humble pie when they're proven to be liars and just hating. Now, as you can see, I said, as this squatty said, I was going to wait and see. Because Harry and Meghan They are meticulous about making sure every I is dotted and every T is crossed. So I must say, I was put aback when I saw this today. And it is a new statement from Harry and Meghan's spokesperson. And I'm going to read it. It says Prince Harry's program in the United Kingdom includes both public and private engagements across the country. Safe accommodations is only one element of an effective protective security plan, as risk follows the individual rather than the location. And what I think Harry is addressing here is that they wanted Harry and Meghan to stay on royal property. And you know, royal property has the security already there. So they wanted Harry and Meghan not to go anywhere, but just to be on royal property so they could spy on them, so they could leak on them, and so they could control them. It goes on to say the issue has never been accommodations. Harry never accepted the accommodations that were offered by Charles, which was to stay on royal properties. And I believe that right there is why his security was snatched away. I believe promises were made and arrangements were agreed upon. And then, and only then, when Harry would not commit to staying on royal property, it was snatched away. At least I believe that is part of why. Yes, because they wanted to control their movements. They know who Harry and Meghan are, and they want to control them while they are on UK soil. And so I believe this is Harry telling us that it never was about accommodations. It has always been about the security. But for them, it was about the accommodation and being able to spy on Harry and Meghan, to be able to leak stories about Harry and Meghan, and to be able to control the movements of Harry and Meghan. It goes on to say the question remains whether appropriate and proportionate protective security is being provided throughout the entirety of the visit. The Independent Risk Management Board, which RAVEC itself determined was necessary in November, has yet to be convened. In the absence of the independent assessment, it is difficult to understand how the proportionality of the current security arrangement can be credibly maintained. The Duke continues to explore every available option to enable the visit to proceed safely and to provide his children with the opportunity to spend time in the United Kingdom. Yeah, y'all, I think what Harry is saying that Meghan and the babies are not going across the pond. What y'all think? Because it is clear something has gone down. What that something is, I do not know. But one thing I know about Harry and Meghan, they are the ultimate professionals. And you cannot tell me that promises wasn't made by that monarchy and Charles that Harry and Meghan would receive security. I would not be surprised if Harry and Meghan got something in writing and they still reneged on it. Let's not forget the Sandringham Summit. We all know that promises were made, agreements were signed, and expectations were never met. What happened? They reneged on it all. And to this day, they still expect Harry to adhere to everything that was in that Sandringham agreement. Y'all remember that? I mean, I can't tell you how many times those flying monkeys bring up the fact that Harry is not living up to what he agreed to at the Sandringham Summit. Never ever saying that that family They're the ones not living up to what was agreed on at the Sandringham Summit. Because if they were, we would not be having this conversation about security. Ravak would have never ever pulled Harry's security because we all know if they did it like their rules say and did an assessment, Harry, Meghan, and those babies would have security. But I digress. I said all that to say this. They reneged on the Sandringham Summit agreement. And I believe that they had an agreement with Harry and Meghan about security that would allow Harry and his family to go to the UK. I really feel that they absolutely reneged on everything that Harry and Meghan had in writing because Harry and Meghan is nothing but meticulous about the small details. You cannot make me believe that Harry and Meghan's spokesperson came out on Friday and confirmed that Harry and Meghan would be visiting the UK, that they didn't have something in hand to guarantee their security. But Harry forgot who he was dealing with. He is dealing with the same snakes he was dealing with in Sandringham at that summit, who reneged on everything. These people are not people of their word. Charles is not a man of his word. Willie is not a man of his word. These are snakes. These are lizard people. And when they make agreements, it is not worth the paper that it's written on. It is not. Ask the Native Americans. Ask the indigenous people of Australia. Ask any of the African nations. Ask anybody who has ever signed a treaty or an agreement with that monarchy. They never, ever, ever keep their word. So I don't know why Harry thought this time they would do it. They never do. They are absolute lizard people. They are cold blooded. And when you are dealing with that kind of people, always expect this kind of behavior. And this squatty posted the statement from Harry's spokesperson and said, I love and respect Harry for not playing the nasty leak games and for going on record when necessary. And those who play today with his security are the same who pretended his late mother was offered royal protection but chose to reject it. I absolutely agree with this squatty. I haven't saw anything to show that Diana rejected royal security. Now we have heard it coming out of that institution, but we all know that that is an institution built on nothing but travesty, treachery, and lies. So who would believe them? This squad is saying the very same people who are playing these league games are the same people who lied on Diana, my opinion. And I am absolutely going to call it out. If you go back and listen to my podcast from yesterday, I said I was going to stand 10 toes down on that. That I believe that institution had something to do with Diana's death. I believe it. And I do believe that they want to Diana, Harry, and Meghan. And look what we got today. Clearly, Charles and Willie, Kitty and the horse couldn't give a tinker's damn about the lives of Harry, Meghan, and those babies. They can pretend all they want to, but their actions prove that they don't. They don't care. And they look at them as a threat and a problem. And who else did they look at as a threat and a problem? And what happened to her? And I just want to remind y'all of what Princess Margaret said when Diana was killed. She said that was sordid. Y'all remember? She was quoted in saying that. These people are lizard people. And what I believe is best for Harry and Meghan is to leave all of them alone. Don't have nothing to do with them. Move everything out of the United Kingdom that has your name on it. Yeah, okay, I'm going to leave it there. Zanny Sussex posted the statement from Harry and Meghan and said, Ravak will never carry out an independent risk assessment because they know it would show that Prince Harry faces the greatest security risk of anyone in the royal family, including the king and heir. Ravak abandoned its own process because it's absolutely weaponizing the security process to punish Harry. And Harry needs to give up on them folks. Yes, because they're never going to treat him fairly. He is never going to have a healthy relationship with them because those people are sick. You cannot have a healthy relationship with sick people. You can't. And so Harry needs to come to terms with that because at this point, he is putting himself and his family at risk. I mean, at this point, it's like having an infection in one of your limbs. We'll say your leg has gangrene in it. Are you going to try to hold on to that leg and lose your life? Or are you going to cut it off and keep it moving and go and live your life? That family is like gangrene. It really is. And Harry has to understand that. Now, Meghan already knows that because she has a family like that of her own. And Meghan surgically cut them out. Yeah, she cut them out. And she is better for it. I bet Meghan sleeps so good at night knowing those people are not a part of her life because they showed her who they were. And you can say without a shadow of a doubt that that family has shown Harry exactly who they are. And he needs to believe them. And then Squatty broke down everything that has gone down point by point, and I am going to go over it. She says, so after reading as much as I can, here is what I think the sequence of events were. One, Harry was given certain assurances that security would be adequate, which would allow Meghan and the kids to accompany him. Exactly. That's exactly what I said. Because it's no way Harry and Meghan would have made all these arrangements, set up an itinerary, and confirmed that they would be going on this trip without being given some kind of assurances for adequate security. I believe they even got something in writing. But like I said earlier, it doesn't matter because when you're dealing with these people, they have no qualms in going back on their word because they are not people of their word. They come from people who never kept their word about anything. History tells us this. So, why in the world would they do any differently when it comes to Harry and Meghan? The squatty goes on to say, number two, because of those assurances, their team gave out an operational note to the press on Friday because they had no reason to believe that the security services would go back on their word. Yeah, I really believe that this is the root. This is my theory as well. It is no way Harry and Meghan would have moved forward without some kind of agreement and assurance that security would be in place. It says, number three, just a few hours later, Ravak notified Harry that his security was denied for reasons unknown. This is reminiscent to the Sandringham Agreement, is it not? When Harry and Meghan was in Canada on that island and they just snatched Harry's security. Yes, Rayback did the very same thing. And whose personal private secretary was on the board of Rayback during that time? Well, that would have been Charles. Trash father, trash grandfather, and trash king. Yes, his private secretary was on the board of Rayback. And his present private secretary is sitting on the board of Rayback as we speak, who was a former executive at the Daily Fair. Yes, he was a flying monkey over there on Fleet Street. Why, oh, why Harry thought this was going to end differently? I don't know. This squatty said number 4, Charles did not invite the family to come over because if he did, they would be covered under royal protection, like they were when the Queen invited them to the Platinum Jubilee. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I know it's being reported that he offered accommodations on royal properties. So I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments if this is true, if the sovereign invites you to an event or for a visit that you get security. I have no idea. Y'all tell me in the comments if you know or not, because I don't know. And the squatty goes on and says, so the question now is, why did they assure Harry that the protection was lined up only to go back on their word hours after the briefing went out? Was it to create chaos, to embarrass him, to prevent Meghan and the children from coming to the UK because that would be the story of the year? I would say all the above. What would y'all say? I absolutely believe that it is all the above. Because to create chaos, they love chaos because you're not talking about the fact that they are at a 30-year low in popularity. You're not talking about how little taxes Willie and Charles pays on their fortune, a fortune that they have inherited and created off the backs of the taxpayers. You're not talking about Andrew going off on vacation while he's supposed to be pretty much under house arrest. No, you're not talking about Sarah Ferguson visiting J.E. while he was in jail. I mean, a duchess visiting the most prolific pedo in world history while he was in jail for being a convicted pedo. Yes, you're not talking about that. And also, Meghan and those babies showing up and being the story of the year because we know that those people, the one thing they cannot stand is to be overshadowed. And that is not just Willie, that's Charles too. Sometimes we forget about how petty and small of spirit and of character Charles really is. Willie had to inherit that from somebody, and he got it straight from Charles. So, yeah, I would say all the above. They could not handle it. And so they tried to embarrass Harry and Meghan. But it looks like this whole scheme from Kensington Palace and Buckingham Palace has backfired on them all. And Charles has actually embarrassed himself and that family. I mean, some of the people you never would have dreamt came out saying that this was nonsense, not to give Harry and Meghan security. I'm telling you, Fleet Street is crying and holding its stomach because they absolutely thought they were going to make a mint off of the pictures. And now that was snatched away from them. And they mad. They are big mad because they have been in a drought, a 6-year drought where Harry and Meghan has done nothing but serve up plate after plate after plate of dust. And now Here it was that they were going to have an opportunity to drink from the cool and sparkling spring that is Harry and Meghan. Those porch flying monkeys are mad because they are not getting what they want, and that is access to Harry, Meghan, and those babies. And it's all because of Charles. So, yeah, I would say all the above, and I love it. I love the fact that Meghan and those babies, with a possibility of Prince Harry being in Montecito the whole month of July. And don't get it twisted, I do feel sorry for the vets. I do. But the vets need to stand up for Harry because Harry has done nothing but stand up for them. I'm just saying. And this squatty goes on and says, at this point, it all falls on Charles. He's not getting his own house in order. He isn't getting his aides in order. And he isn't getting Rayvac in order. And let's add on to that list, he is not getting Willie and Kitty in order. I mean, how weak, how feckless, how useless of a human being is Charles? It says, I do not believe Tom Sykes and Alison Boshoff when they said that Charles is desperate to reconcile with his darling boy. I do believe Charles wants the Sussex problem to go away. And I think him and his aides foolishly think that denying Harry's security is the only way for it to happen. Like I said, I don't trust Charles. I don't trust Willie. And as for me, if Harry, Meghan, and those babies are in Montecito, like I said, the whole month of June and never ever steps foot on that island nation again, I'm happy. I am happy. Y'all tell me what y'all think. This squatty said, I am tired of the Harry should bring his family to the UK rhetoric. Did he commit a crime? Was he JE's bestie with whom he was aping and killing kids? Tell me, what horrible crime did he commit to deserve his family being banned from his home country? And that's pretty much what it is. Charles and Willie are banning Harry, Meghan, and those babies. They are doing everything to keep Harry and Meghan and those babies out of Harry's home country. And let's not get it twisted. It is Archie and Lilibeth's home country as well because they are dual citizens. They are citizens of the United States, but they're also citizens of Great Britain and Prince and Princess of the Rams. They are blood prince and princesses of the United Kingdom and that family. Yes, they are. And so is Harry. So this is diabolical and it's not a good look. I said this in my last podcast. It's not a good look for Charles and Willie and the people of Great Britain. But I must say, it is a lot of people pushing back. It really is. And I am interested in how all of this is going to shake out for Charles because he's under some pressure. The flying monkeys, they are parched. Yes, they want to drink. And he is standing guard in front of the water fountain. And they are not having it. So a lot of pressure is on Charles. And I am really, really interested if Charles is going to fold because he didn't fold last time when he snatched the security, but he did not have the pressure that he has this time. And so I just wonder if we get a reversal. But my hopes is that we don't. Because at this point, can we even trust the security if it's given to them? I am sus of everybody across that pond. I hope Meghan and those babies go back to Montecito if they're truly vacationing in Europe. I hope they go home, make some jam, make some popcorn, watch a movie, and FaceTime with Harry as Harry does the 1 year to go events for Invictus. That's my hope. I'm just saying, I'm going to be out front with my hope because I don't trust those people, that family of nothing but lizard people. I don't trust them behind a broom straw. And Zanny Sussex, she just went in on all of them and said, after they killed Princess Diana, they turned around and made money writing about her death and parading her children's grief in order to boost their own public appeal. Sadly, nothing has changed. They want history to repeat itself. See, I'm not out here alone saying that. I have said it. I said it yesterday, and I believe it with everything in me. Harry has said it, and he pretty much said it in this statement. Yes, we see them exactly for what they are. And it is not going to be like Diana. Now, I saw a squatty said that this is not the 90s. This is the 2020s. Yes, 2026 to be exact. And people have eyes all over. And they are not going to fall for the okie doke if something happens to Harry, Meghan, or those children. They will not get away with it as easily as they got away with it with Diana. I'm just saying. And Zanny also posted this one and said, it's clear now the offer of the royal accommodations was only ever intended to be used as a weapon. And to spy on Harry and Meghan, I would not be surprised if the room or the accommodation that was given to Harry and Meghan was not bugged. Because it's all about getting red meat in order to feed the wolves, to keep them at bay and keep them away from the real stories and control them, control their movements, control their activities while they're in Great Britain. And Zanny went on to say, as if accepting accommodations somehow makes all the threats and security concerns magically disappear. It breaks my heart to realize the snake pit Harry grew up in and that it continues to this day. No wonder he fights so hard to protect his own family. Where is the lie? Where is it? They're all snakes. And I am just like Zanny. I think about that little boy. He was 12 years old and he lost his only protector, the only person who loved him. And somehow he was able to survive and come out on the other end such a great person. That is amazing. It is that he did not become jaded and bitter. He turned out to be such a warm, kind, and loving human being. How did that happen? It had to be providence. It absolutely had to be. And this squatty said, so everything I predicted happened again. Harry was tricked to agree on coming, bringing Meghan and the kids, thinking he was going to be provided security. In the last minute, he was told he wasn't going to be provided security outside of palaces. I told you they don't want him to visit Althorp. I told you it was a repeat of the Spencer tiara incident. And if you don't know what this squatty is talking about, the Spencers offered the Spencer tiara for Meghan to wear on her wedding day because nobody else had offered her anything. But the moment that the Wizards got wind of that, all of a sudden the Queen was opening the vault and offering Meghan a tiara. They did not want that tiara moment to happen, that Meghan would go down the aisle wearing the same tiara that Diana did on her wedding day. They just could not allow that to happen. These are the people Harry and Meghan are dealing with. They think about nonsense stuff like this. An example of that is, y'all remember when it was revealed in that flop of a book by Jabbo named Catherine? Y'all remember he wrote that book about Kitty, and it was all about Harry and Meghan. Well, he said in that book that Willie went to the Queen and took it on himself to get an assurance from the Queen that Meghan would not wear any of Diana's jewelry until after she was married to Prince Harry. I kid you not. He absolutely took it upon himself to do something like this. And if you didn't notice, Kitty got most of that jewelry. Meghan got very little. I think she got some earrings. She got that aquamarine ring. And she has Princess Diana's watch. And I don't think she has much more than that. If you know if she has something else that I didn't name, put it in the comments. But yeah, Kitty got the lion's share of that jewelry. And it's my understanding that it was supposed to be divided equally. Didn't happen. I wonder why. But I digress. This squatty goes on and says, Harry, when are you going to ever learn? Whatever. Yeah, it could be that. Now, this squatty is saying that they don't want Harry to visit his mother's grave and take his children. Now, I wouldn't put it past those folks because they never wanted anybody to highlight the Spencers. They have tried their best to bury the Spencers, but Harry will not allow it, just like Diana never allowed it. And it would have been a huge, huge story if Harry took those babies to Diana's grave. No pictures needed, nothing except the knowledge that it happened. And it would be a huge story, completely overshadowing anything that Charles might do with the kids. Yes, him meeting them, taking a picture with them, all of that will be washed away with the kids going to visit Diana's grave. Charles knows that he can't compete with Princess Diana, even though she has been dead over 30 years. The story would be about her and her grandchildren, not him and his grandchildren. No, her grandchildren. And maybe, just maybe, this squatty is right. And Charles is so petty, so evil, and just so insecure that he just could not allow that moment to happen. What y'all think? Y'all think this squatty is right? I think it's a good possibility because Charles is trash. And this squatty is writing about the flying monkeys crashing out because Meghan is probably not coming to that small island nation. She will be in Montecito, putting jam on toast and playing mahjong with her friends, drinking her wine, harvesting her summer vegetables, or maybe just taking it easy and lounging by the pool with a cocktail. And maybe, just maybe, putting her ear to the ground so she can hear all those flying monkeys across the pond just absolutely crying and sucking snot and holding their stomachs because she was a no-show. This is what he said. I'm telling you, the press was so giddy at the thought of seeing Meghan live and in person, but they couldn't say that for obvious reasons. Now, multiple people are crashing out that their biggest wet dream might not come to fruition. And of course, they are blaming it all on Charles. Yes, absolutely they are. And that's exactly where the blame lies. But yeah, But like this squatty said, they were giddy, just giddy at the thought of Meghan coming over with the babies. I was telling y'all in my last podcast that Tom Thumbhead Sykes, he was over there on the YouTube over there on Matt Big Head Wilkerson's panel show. I think it's called Exclusively Royal or whatever it is. And he was bouncing around. He could not stand still. They were talking about Meghan. He was so excited. And he is one of the flying monkeys that is crashing out so hard. Yes, Chris Ship is crashing out. Maureen is crashing out. They all are crashing out because they just was so anticipating. They absolutely was drooling at the thought that they were going to be centered on the world stage, because we all know Harry and Meghan brings the world stage. They brings the eyeballs, and they were absolutely anticipating it all, and somehow it got all taken away. Yes, they're crashing out. And Zanny Sussex reposted this and said, the British media have literally created the drama and chaos, and now they're angry that they may not be able to cash in on Meghan and the children. What a bunch of tiresome twats British media are. Yeah, they crashing out, and I just love it for them. And this squatty right here wants to remind us that Charles is not the only trash royal over there, and probably not the only one that had a hand in Harry and Meghan not getting their security. We can't forget about Willie Boy. This squatty said, yes, Charles is a bad dad, but here is a person behind all of the leaking stories, working behind to sabotage Harry, but making it look like the decision comes from Charles. He is too weak to go against Harry, always hiding behind Pa. Now, this squatty is saying that William is working in the background, pushing Charles to do all this nonsense. I say they're equally as evil. I believe, if anything, they got together to trick Harry into this situation. I bet you they've been talking back and forth. And this will do greatly for Charles and William's relationship, because we know that Charles somehow always chooses the wrong son, because Harry would be faithful and be there for him to the end. Willie could care less. The only time Willie cares anything about Charles is when Harry is paying him some attention. So I can't, but I do agree with this squatty. And I want to switch gears now and talk about Kate. She went on a mountain climb, and this is what People magazine posted about it. It says Kate Middleton secretly climbed. Now stick a pin in that word secretly. Kate Middleton secretly climbed Britain's third highest peaks in under 24 hours to spotlight life after cancer. And Zanny Sussex came in and said, sigh, fake cancer is back. So predictable. Where is the lie? Where is it? I cannot with this woman. And she wants us to believe that she spent the night on a mountain hiking. She wants us to believe that. Now, it's some people who do believe it, and that's all good. Yes, it's all good, and that's your belief. But for me, after I saw some of the videos, I don't think I do. I think Farm Market Kate is back. Yes, Farm Market Kate has shown up. We've been looking for her. She hadn't been around in a couple of years or so, but she has popped up on the mountain. SK said, don't you hate when you climb a mountain and your clothes change colors? Your bag changed too. And when you get to the top, this recently announced UK visit is doing things to people. Look at this picture. Who are these people? Who are they? Especially the one in the second picture. This squatty said, who is this woman? Yes, who is that? That is Farm Market Kate. She is back. Who is that? Farm Market Kate. Do these people ever learn anything? They didn't learn anything from the Frankenstein picture, did they? They didn't learn that people are going to go through these things frame by frame by frame and discredit you. And it is so easy to discredit this video that this is not Kate. This is Farm Market Kate. I mean, it is such a bogus production. I mean, having a woman change clothes, change hairstyles, and she is a much bigger frame woman than Kitty. And at the end, gonna put Kitty. And Kitty looks like she absolutely hadn't had a meal since her last birthday. I mean, it makes no sense. But yeah, I'm going to show the video and we're going to talk on the other side. I played it twice so y'all could really get a good view of it. And what do you think? Do you think that is Kitty or is it Farm Market Kate? I think it's Farm Market Kate. Because did you see how much weight that woman was carrying? She has thighs, she has butt, but Kate has none of that. And Zanny Sussex said, another scam by Fakery Cakery. Yes, Fakery Cakery, she strikes again. Yes. And CK said the farm shop video girl climbed the mountains. Yeah, because it wasn't Kitty. That is not Kitty. Did you see how broad that woman's shoulders were? Kitty is so slight. And if you don't believe me, look at this picture. Look at this. It says, but Harry and Meghan and Netflix laugh out loud. Cameras everywhere. Yes. And y'all remember I told y'all to stick a pin in that word secretly? It wasn't so secret, was it? She had cameras all over the place. And she wants us to believe that that woman who had all those thighs and butt and those broad shoulders was this woman in this picture. This is Kitty. You can tell this is Kitty. Look how little Kitty is. Now, you want us to believe that woman that was climbing that mountain was Kitty? Stop it. Stop it. And we're not even going to talk about all the different clothes that she changed into. I mean, they had several Farm Market Kates. Because, see, this went on for 24 hours. She was supposed to climb for 24 hours. And they want us to believe that Kitty, emaciated Kitty, the one we're looking at in this picture, was able to climb the third highest peak in Great Britain. They want us to believe that. And Kate looks like she is about to fall down all the time. She looks hungry. She looks as if she is being intentionally starved to death. And they want us to believe that she had enough energy to do that. Stop it. This squatty said, speechless. Why are they not talking about this starved appearance? If this is what being princess is supposed to look like, then no thank you. My goodness, bulimia. Yeah. And Kate, to me, looked like what my grandmother used to say. She is dying for the want of attention. Yes, nobody will not call this out. This is not normal. Look at Kate when she first entered that family. She was at a healthy weight. And look at her now. She is totally a skeleton. She is. And nobody's saying anything. But we would not expect any different from those people over there because Diana was wasting away and they never said anything. All they wanted her to do is cut a ribbon. Yes. So, yeah, if this is being a princess, unlike this particular squatty, you can miss me with that. CK said Kate that climbed the mountain first picture must have lost a lot of weight in between the hikes and become the Kate who spoke to the people in the second picture with a lot of cameras. The glaring difference is how baggy the real Kate's trousers are and how skinny she looks. Exactly. You're trying to tell me that this first picture is Kate and this second picture is Kate too? Like I said, these people, they're so arrogant. She is so arrogant. She really thinks that people are not going to call her out. This is crazy. This is wild. They want us to believe that this woman with all these hips and thighs is the same Kate here who looks like she is wasting away. And she really did not have to make an effort to climb that mountain. All she needed to do was to hang around and wait for a good breeze to come along. It would have blown her to the top. Yeah, she was just absolutely just wasting her time when she could have just hung out at the foot of the mountain and waited for a breeze because any good hard breeze would have blown Kate right to the top of the mountain. And of course, you always gonna have the people who are willing to believe anything. This woman said, "You have never been hiking, have you? You wear extra trousers called trousers and layers to keep warm, you silly arsehole." Now, this woman believes that these two women are the same person, Kate. Yeah, I'm telling you, it is always someone willing to stand in line to drink the Kool Aid, is it not? And this woman is drinking the Kool Aid. And KD said, "Okay, how can you argue with someone like that?" I love that answer. Sometimes you just let ignorant people be exactly who they are, ignorant. All right, y'all. I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about Kate's adventure to the top of the mountain. And do you think all these women with all these different body types and different clothing is still Kate? Watch the video. Tell me. I am so interested in what y'all have to say about this. But as for me, I think it was Farm Shop Kate. Yes, she has made her return. I must say, it was really good to see her. Y'all, I'm getting messy. All right, y'all. Y'all know I love to end on a positive note, and I am going to end with Media Guy. And he has posted about Meghan's Instagram. It looks like Meghan keeps on putting the points on the board. Yes, Meghan is officially over 4.7 million followers. Yes, she is making her way up to 5 million followers. Meghan just keeps on building. Yes, one foot in front of the other. I love that about Meghan. She just keeps on going. All right, y'all. I love my time that I spend with y'all each and every time. I will see y'all soon. If you want to support your girl, very easy. Go down below, find the Super Thanks button, and click it. And if you want to be a part of the reading club, the link is also right down below and in my bio, I think too. And if you don't want to have anything to do with YouTube, go on over there to patreon.com/the Royal Read. Join. And if you want to support me, you can do that too, right over there. And you can also go to buymeacoffee.com/the Royal Read and buy me a coffee. And I know it's the first of the week. You got three new hypes. Come on now, use them and hype your girl up. Yes, hype me up because it helps so much. It pushes the video out so new eyeballs can see it, and it really helps the channel to grow. So yes, hype your girl up. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.